Good evening. Today is Monday, January 14th. Italian fugitive said to be extradited 28 years after his murder conviction. Rome, Italy, sent an aircraft to Bolivia on Sunday to pick up the fugitive left-wing militant Cesare Battisti, who was captured there over the weekend, nearly 3 decades after being convicted of murder. Italy has repeatedly sought the extradition of Mr. Battisti, and the developments set the stage for the climax to one of Italy's longest-running efforts to bring a fugitive to justice. Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte of Italy said that a government aircraft was expected to land Sunday afternoon in Bolivia. The foreign minister vowed to the foreign ministry vowed to have Mr. Battisti extradited as quickly as possible. Interior Minister Matteo Salvini called the fugitive a delinquent who doesn't deserve to live comfortably on the beach, but rather to finish his days in prison. The Bolivian police, working with Italian agents, arrested Mr. Battisti, 64, Saturday night in Santa Cruz de la Sierra. The Italian police said he had lived in Brazil for years, but last month, Brazil's departing president signed a decree ordering his extradition, apparently prompting Mr. Battisti's largest flight. The Italian police released a video of the fugitive that they said had been taken hours before his capture, showing him seemingly oblivious to the fact they was under surveillance as he walked casually down a street in jeans, a blue shirt and sunglasses. A subsequent image showed Mr. Battisti's photograph under the seal of the Bolivian police. Mr. Battisti escaped from an Italian prison in 1981 while awaiting trial on 4 counts of murder allegedly committed when he was a member of the far-left group Armed Proletarians for Communism. He was convicted in absentia in 1990 and faces a life term for the death of 2 police officers and a jailer and a butcher. He has acknowledged membership in the group but has denied killing anyone, portraying himself as a political refugee. Mr. Battisti initially fled to France, where he joined a group of dozens of left-wing Italian militants who enjoyed official protection from France's socialist government at the time. Like Mr. Battisti, they had fled during Italy's years of lead, a bloody and turbulent era in the 1970s and the 80s, when militants on both he left and right carried out bombings, assassinations, and other violence aimed to bring down the Italian government. After the political winds changed in France, Mr. Battisti fled to Mexico and then to Brazil to avoid extradition. He was arrested in Rio de Janeiro in 2007, prompting the Italian government to request that he be handed over. But President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva granted him asylum in 2010. Mr. Battisti was eventually released from jail but was arrested again in 2017 after being caught trying to cross the Brazil-Bolivia border carrying the equivalent of about $7,500 in undeclared cash. He was realized after a few days. As a result of that incident, Justice Luiz Fux of Brazil's Supreme Federal Court said in December that Interpol had issued a request for Mr. Batista's arrest on tax evasion and money laundering charges, leading him to issue a warrant. Based on that, the departing Brazilian President Michel Temer signed the decree ordering the fugitive's extradition. Mr. Salvini praised the Bolivian police and the Brazil's new government for following through on the fugitive case. President Sergio Mattarella of Italy said that Mr. Battisti should be returned to Italy to serve his sentence for the grave crimes that stained Italy, and let the same be said for all fugitives abroad. This case, um, Cesare Battisti, uh, during many years, Brazil and Italy have some problems. But finally, this criminal is again right now in Italy. Uh, it's very important uh, to uh, talking about this government in Brazil and France during this asylum the Cesare Battisti. In France, it was first time the asylum the Batiste. It was a left government. When in France changed the government, Batiste uh, Batista went to Mexico, here in Mexico, after to Brazil. In Brazil, the Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva government and the Dilma Rousseff government is the left government. No? When in Brazil changed the government with Michel Temer, right now com Jair Bolsonaro said during many days during his campaign, presidential campaign, uh, he said Batista should be to extradited for Italy. In now, Batista trying, uh, Batista asked asylum to Bolivia. Bolivia said no. I think if Batista, I don't know, if Batista would have gone to Venezuela, the Nicolas Maduro government, I don't know, but it would be his new home, no? Because France left the government after Brazil left government. If of course Venezuela, I think Venezuela, these asylum asked maybe uh, and maybe he could be uh, his new home. But finally, this escape is it's over. It, uh, he must to complete his sentence. No, 10 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years of uh, I don't know, entire life. No? Episode is it's over. And the life continues. Thank you very much for watching my new video. If you want, you want to learn English, talk with me in English, speak with me in English. Sorry, come here at Class Para Idiomas, or we can to do class for Skype anywhere in the world. Thank you very much of my to my friends in USA, United Kingdom, Australia, New Zealand, India, and different countries where you speak English. Thank you very much. See you later with the other interesting news. Okay? Thank you very much. See you. Bye. Good night.
March 2007. Sitting in the back of a black police car, Cesare Battisti has just been arrested in Rio de Janeiro. He'll spend the next 4 years in jail and is set free in 2011 after left-wing President Luiz Inácio da Silva refused to extradite him to Italy and granted him the status of political refugee. The legal troubles didn't end there for the 64-year-old former communist militant. In March 2015, Battisti was arrested again before being freed, and last month the Brazilian Supreme Court ordered his arrest and extradition, arguing his crimes were not political. A life on the run that began in the late 70s. Battisti was then a member of the Armed Proletarians for Communism, a revolutionary group that called for armed uprising. He's accused of murdering 4 people, including a prison guard and policeman. The militant denies the charges, saying he never shot anyone. Sentenced to 12 years of prison by an Italian judge in 1981, he first fled to France, where President François Mitterrand promised asylum for political refugees who renounced violence. Battisti was later sentenced in absentia to life in prison. He spent the following 15 years between France and Mexico, publishing several crime novels and leading a relatively calm life as a building superintendent in Paris. But in 2004, a new extradition demand was approved by a Paris court, and the militant ran again, this time to Brazil. The country's new far-right president, Jair Bolsonaro, had vowed he would immediately extradite Battisti upon taking office.